everything is dipped in gold, then baby it will never grow. Everything sweet ain't sugar coated. What a lie. What a lie.
As I prepare this reading, I have not solidified a specific title. I'm playing around with a few just to see, but I'm going to go with the flow and decide on the specific title later. But ultimately, this video is shadow work, the thing that a lot of people run from, and even people that claim to do shadow work still fail to actually see the truth in some shadow work that can bring the ultimate change that we all need. This is not to shame or blame or make anyone feel away. This is just for those that want to grow, evolve, and change. And that requires looking in the mirror and maybe speaking some ugly truths about yourself to yourself. That's where change begins. So let's go ahead and get started. This video is about icks and triggers, and not so much to focus on the icks and triggers, but to actually focus on the core of why that ick or that trigger activates you, gets you riled up, angers you, makes you feel away, has any sort of control over you. The point of this video is to get to the core of that and help you to transmute that shadow energy into something light and useful. I want to send thanks and praise to the spiritual gangsters that happen to click onto this video, because everybody ain't able. Everybody don't have it in them to face their own shadows. So I see you, friend. Let's go ahead and get started. So there are 3 groups, and they will be shown right here on the screen for you. Feel free to pause the screen if needed to make your selections. If you're interested in booking a personal reading, first link in the description box to make that happen. Join us on Patreon, the second link in the description box down below, for content that you won't get here on the main channel. This week's video will be an 18+ sexy reading on Patreon, so definitely join us for that. Again, it'll be linked down below. If you would like to send a gift or a monetary donation to the channel, there is a virtual tip jar as well as a PO box. I thank you in advance. And if you want to support the channel for free skis, just give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below to let me know how it resonates, what group you chose, how you feel, whatever you want to put in the comments. Also, you can share this video with a friend and hit the subscribe. It's completely free. And hit the bell to be notified whenever I pull up with new content just like this. All right, I've long talked enough. Let's go ahead and get into your groups. Let's face these shadows so that we can shine even brighter. A message from group number 1's shadow of this ick or trigger. So you chose this image here, which says number 8, chanting. Enjoy the card ASMR while I download the information and present it to you. This is a great time to practice patience, meditation, and gratitude. Please tap me, and I pray this reading brings peace, love, light, healing, clarity, but most importantly, truth and motivation to my viewers. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Let's go. Group number 1's ick or trigger. Group number 1's ick or trigger. message from the shadow of group number one's ick or trigger. Okay, so first thing I want to take note of is a frustration that I'm picking up on from some sort of like a tedious energy, like not wanting to have to deal with something because it comes with like paperwork that I don't feel like doing. Like the task itself is fine or whatever this is, but the paperwork that comes along with it, or this extra thing that's a package deal or comes along with it, I'm kind of annoyed with that or frustrated with that. So the ick or the trigger, it seems to be with the process of something, because I'm getting this linear timeline being shown to me from beginning to end. Someone here is asking, what's the point in seeking out happiness if the journey or the quest to create it brings me so much harm, betrayal, lack of joy? It stimulates me in some of the worst ways. This feels like an ick or a trigger or a frustration with the healing process, but most specifically the rules or the ins and outs of it. Like, to commit to a better life, sometimes you have to give up the things that you like or the things that you enjoy. So you're like, am I really creating joy if I have to take away some joys? This group here could really benefit from talking to yourself, like podcast styles or in the mirror, or journaling, recording videos of yourself. You don't have to make any of these things public. Actually, I'm not getting that at all, to make it public or to make a scene about it. Also, side message here, you guys would make for great actors or actresses, lead roles in melodramas. Because you've met such a depth, such an intensity, and you come with like this poetic edge to you. I haven't used this term in a while, but it's great that it's popping up in spooky season. This is my sad boy, sad girl, sad person type of vibe, energy, group. The best way that I could describe this, to personify this energy, The Weeknd. No matter how you feel about The Weeknd, he gives off sad boy energy. And that's what I'm getting here, is like, but look at what he's done with that sad boy energy. He's transmuted it and literally built a life of wealth off of it. Which takes me into the message from the shadow of this ick, this trigger of the process of you creating this space, this dwelling of happiness and joy. For some of you, this is like the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. For others of you, this has to do with just sensations and your experience itself, and mental health. It's a quest, it's a journey, and the process is definitely frustrating to you. Also, for me to be comparing you to actors, actresses, The Weeknd, who's a musician, and you have this card that talks about chanting, and I was referring to you creating poetry or art or writing, journaling, podcasting, videotaping, all of those things, you need to hear and see and use your voice. And when I say see, I mean talk about using visuals. For some of you, this imagery here, like you just watching a video of hot air balloons could really help to ease the tension, or watching videos of the ocean, water flowing. This group here, the shadow of your ick and trigger brings the vibration of sound. Again, you have chanting. This is the cliche om and all of the other sounds. You could really benefit from diving into this. I've noticed for myself that what also fits into this category is scream therapy. As an Aries, scream therapy and I go hand in hand. We go together real bad, okay? And that may sound crazy to some people, but who cares? It's about transmuting the energy in a healthy way. You're not hurting anybody by screaming. I make sure that when I'm screaming and participating in scream therapy, I'm usually cognizant or mindful of where I am, what's going on. And that's because I know that there's a time and a place for everything. Let's continue to dive into this message from the shadow of your ick / trigger. Let me get some clarifiers, please. Yeah, there's a frustration here with like, why the fuck do I have to do all of this by myself? Why the fuck do I have to do this? Why the do I have to do that? When am I going to catch a break? It's giving one of those. And just like how I'm like ranting like that and the voice I'm using, project, honey. Say those things out loud, project. And then as you're listening to yourself, you're like, man, I feel your frustration, but you also realize that you got to keep going anyways. You can feel how you want to feel, but we're going to get the job done regardless of our mood. Stick to the plan despite your mood. Your mood can tell you, hey, I don't want to do this today, right now, per se, in this way. You can negotiate sometimes, but stick to the plan, not your mood. You need an outlet for this frustration, for sure. Like I just talked about me as an Aries sun and scream therapy going together real bad. You need to find that mode, that method of release that goes with you real bad. And the most important thing here is that, babes, I need you to know that this is not another responsibility that I'm putting on you. When I tell you to find the thing that goes with you real bad, this is not another responsibility. This is for your health. This is for your health. Yeah, like, don't feel the need to put any sort of unnecessary stress on yourself. This is not, again, this is not another responsibility. This group, you have a tendency of like taking on everything as like anxious or worrisome. Understandably so, because again, there's that frustration with feeling like you have to do everything alone. Which, I mean, we all do. Even with the greatest support system, at the end of the day, it's always down to just you, yourself, and God. Whether you want to refer to God as anything, everything, and nothing, it's still just you and that air. You know? The Tower, yeah. This group here, you need something loud or big, or even something that gets your blood pumping, adrenaline going. This would be like exercise in many different forms. But you've got big energy that needs to go into different places so that you can compartmentalize, because honestly with your ick and your trigger, it's really just a part of the process of getting to where you made it very clear that you want to go. So really your shadow is here to let you know that you're already doing it. It's just the point of soothing yourself along the way. Self-soothing is the main theme that the shadow of your icks and triggers bring to you. Self-soothing, how to calm yourself. You could do this in so many ways. For some people, it's, again, different forms of exercise, tea, chanting, scream therapy, destruction, that, you know, like they have those, what is it called? Destruction rooms or something like that. But basically, just where you don't have to hold back. You need to find an outlet where you don't have to hold back. For some of you, this literally looks like you getting into like some emo, screamo, alternative music and just going in, okay? For some of you, I'm seeing you with like a pillow or like something that's pretty like plushy or soft and just kind of like just going at it, like just going at it and making sure there's nothing around you that would be destroyed in the process. But you just need to let it out. Let it out. And there's no shame in that, okay? Okay. Also, taking the weight off of your shoulders of reputation, or like trying to maintain an image. There's a lot of weight on your shoulders here. Capricorn energy is coming through really strong here. And you've got really great ideas. I'm seeing that the frustration could be growing from lack of information or resources to execute or implement whatever these great ideas are. So start finding solutions to those things that you feel are impossible to achieve or accomplish or reach. If you can think it up, you can make it happen. So I just want you to start with the very first step. Start with the very first step. Start with the most obvious answer, the most obvious response, and then go from there. That's also why this Ascending card is here for you too. Because that weight that's on your shoulders is literally weighing you down. And if it's weighing you down, that's holding you back from ascension. So you need to continue this process, continue whatever it is that you're doing, this quest that you're on, continue to do so. But look at your frustration for what it really is, as opposed to looking at your frustration as confirmation that you're failing. Look at your frustration as a sign that it's time to take another baby step towards that goal. something about needing to take up space. Again, like just being able to like let loose, be free, because for some reason you feel like you're like trespassing or something like this here. You feel like you have to remain small, and that's holding you back. You need to be able to expand. Literally, like your energy needs the freedom to expand. That's also what chanting and sound healing and self-soothing will do for you, group number 1. So this has been the message from the shadow of your icks, fears, doubts, and or triggers. Let me know how this reading resonates for you. Sending you love. Support the channel for free by giving this video a thumbs up. Comment down below, share this video with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when I pull up new content. If you want to book a personal reading, first link in the description box down below. Second link is for Patreon. We have a sexy reading coming up this week. Super excited for that, so join us there. Second link in the description box. And if you want to donate to the channel, there is a P.O. box as well as a virtual tip jar. I thank you in advance, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Group number 2, you chose this family card, the number 23. Let's go ahead and dive into your reading, group number 2, and find out what the message from the shadow of your icks and or triggers have to say to you. Okay, let's dive in. Enjoy the ASMR of the shuffling and all the noises that are going to be happening. Use this time to practice patience and meditation. I pray that this reading brings peace, love, light, healing, and clarity to those that tune in. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Let's go ahead and get started. Group number 1's ick and or trigger. Group number 1's ick and or trigger. Group number, did I say 1? I'm sorry, group number 2's ick and or trigger. That's not a mistake. Not necessarily saying that you need to watch group number 1, but the number 1 is relevant here, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Okay. So, the reason why I feel that I was saying number 1 is because this group here could be struggling with being competitive. Whether you see this or not, sometimes a shadow will hide from you too. That's why we're doing this video. But I'm not here to tiptoe around eggshells. You say that you want to evolve, let's get it. This group here struggles with seeing other people win, succeed, or being in feminine energy, or being comfortable with who they are. There's a part of you that sees this, and you're like, no, I don't want to be like that. Like there's that whispering underneath the surface. It's like, I don't want to be like that. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be successful. I want this. I want that. But there is this part of you that can't help but wonder, what if the roles were reversed or switched? if I'm being honest, your shadow here is revealing to me that there's a part of you that wants people to be jealous of you. And we need to get to the root or the core of that. Why? And it's a very direct reflection because of the jealousy that you experience. But if it doesn't make you feel good, why would you want them to feel it? For some, this looks like competition. This could have started with sibling rivalries, especially because we do have this family card. And leading the shadow message is the Three of Cups, followed by this King of Pentacles, which immediately to me looks like a father and children. Yeah, and I'm hearing like an inner child say like, look at me, look at me, look at what I can do, but feeling overlooked. Someone could have done ballet, dance, or you really liked baby pink, like very, you know, like cutesy, cliche, like little girl types of things that I'm seeing right now, no matter your gender. But of course, I'm tuning into the majority, the collective, and the majority of my viewers are feminine, female. But that's also relevant because it's particularly about feminine energy. I did talk about that, being comfortable with the self. It's most specifically, you might be fine with masculine energies that are comfortable with themselves, love themselves, see themselves in a high regard. You don't really experience the jealousy there, but it's something about the softness, the femininity, the calmness. It's almost like you also want to try to rile people up. Again, like that jealousy concept. It's like you want to have a bigger impact on people. But if you have the power to influence people, you need to use that power for good, not to incite jealousy or competition. This message may not be easy to hear, and I can tell that some people don't like it because I can feel this energy in me that like spiritually wants to vomit. Not to get like too into it, but for some, this is an actual spirit that's on you that you need to work out. Yeah, because I do feel like sick to my stomach in a sense. So someone's definitely watching this and they're not happy with what I'm saying. Return that shiz back to sender. You came here for the truth. It is what it is. Seven of Pentacles, the World. Yeah, it's like, when will it be my turn? That's one of those things. Yep, Three of Swords. Six of Cups, the Empress and the Ace of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands. What's at the back of the deck? Okay, I'm feeling that energy dissipating. The vomiting feeling, which is good. Okay. Now here's a mother figure coming through here as well. This mother figure kind of feels like she fades into the distance. Like even if she's there, she's not there emotionally or something like that. Like she's there, but she ain't there. Yeah, when will it be my turn? Followed by the Three of Swords and this distant feminine energy. This distant feminine energy too, if it's not like a mother, I was talking about the siblings, this could also be referring to, it's interesting because it's like they seem to fade away, but for some reason they still take up all the space, or they're still the one, like even when they're not there. Okay, now I'm picking up on like figures and squares and feeling like you don't fit in. Oh, like figures, like shapes, figures, a square. What is it? Like when they're like, you gotta tighten up your circle so squares don't fit in or something like that. That could be like mean girl energy too, no matter the gender. It's like, again, if you know that you have the desire to influence or impact people in some way, why would you want it to be in a negative way? Spin that. Let's get some clarifiers. Thank you. For some of you, you're... How did Cat Williams say that? Your allegiance to insert adjective here is unlike you. Let's just say he said fools, but your allegiance to fools is unlike you. For some of you, it's like, because you want to be down so bad with this particular group or these friends or this family, you're doing things that aren't true to you. And I don't know why, but it's like this environment or these people, it is like there's an umbilical cord between the two of you, and it's got mean girl energy written all over it. Like the type that like you when it's convenient. There it is again. The threes. But now this Three of Pentacles is clarifying the King of Pentacles, further solidifying that this is like a father figure. Or morals, standards, boundaries, the ones that lay down the law. Yeah. Yep. Shadow transmutation occurs here when this group here accepts, wears, and owns the fact that they may be the black sheep. Now, I hesitate when I use certain titles because you shouldn't use your titles to define you. But titles can be helpful to give you insight on the reality of where you are, where you stand, who you are, your current moment, the now, in comparison to what title you wish to hold in the future. I don't know why I'm picking up on something like this is grounds for expulsion. So it's like threats of being like outed, exiled, ostracized. That has power over you. Yeah, like I'm seeing, as I said that, I'm seeing the puppeteer strings. The World is clarifying the Ten of Pentacles. Outstanding. Sometimes in order to be outstanding, you have to face that fear to be an outlier. Outstanding, outlier. They both start with out, meaning you're outside of the inside. Your shadow work here starts with being the change that you wish to see. Two of Cups clarifies the Two of Swords. The Sun at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, there's a lot of like, see, and even the Empress shows up again. There's a lot of, well, duh, actually, I forgot. Family involved here. And how that contributes to the core of who you are. Especially the Two of Swords ending this out, clarified by the Two of Cups. This feels like lack of participation versus participating and somehow becoming equally yoked or seeing eye to eye. This feels like a passive energy. It's like you want to be out but in. Last two cards here. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, exactly. And that's what keeps you juggled or like in this in-between or with this lack of identity. Because it's like this give a dog a bone type of situation. As I say, that Six of Pentacles here. It's like as soon as you get away from the influences and start to see yourself, they give a dog a bone so that you'll do the dance, so that you'll do the jigs, so that you'll participate, do what we need you to do. One more. Nine of Swords reversed. Fear of missing out is another thing here too. The Moon. Back of the deck, I picked up the last two. Strength and the Seven of Wands. Four of Swords. So you have a fear of missing out, which means that in order to heal that, you need to miss out. I'm a big fan and a big executor of exposure therapy. If there's something that I'm afraid of, like irrationally, or it's something that stands between me and my goals, I go out of my way to face it, to do it, to get it done. Help me to relate to the viewer. Give me an example here. How do I? Oh, okay. Well, this is like my greatest personal example of exposure therapy. So hopefully this example being shared will give you some insight. I always love car washes, like just driving through car washes, especially the ones with the really cool lights, and like it's just all pitch black. You go through a dark tunnel and it's loud, but it's colorful, it's cool, it's trippy. I've always loved car washes until I didn't, and looking back I can say that I do believe it's a result of me losing my father at this point in my life. It happened shortly after that I'd stopped enjoying those car washes, and I think it was a response to that death that was very close to me and obviously very shocking. Like, no matter what, death is always going to come as a shock. And it made me feel like the walls were closing in. So I went from going through car washes for joy to literally having a panic attack in the middle of a car wash. Like, I was in the car by myself, babes. I was trying to keep my mentality. I was trying to keep my mental sane while my body was freaking the F out. And I was like about to get out of my seatbelt, about to open the door and get out of the car. But again, I'm in a car wash. I can't do that. So I was just praying to God and just getting through it, babes. And I got through it, thank God. But I could have decided I'm never going to go in a car wash ever again. I could have decided to do that. But instead, I decided to face that fear. And especially because I knew that there was a version of me that existed that loved car washes, I wasn't going to let her die. No. So what I did was I looked to my support system, and I was like, hey, can you please come through this car wash with me, please? Because, and then I explained what happened, and I think it took 1 or 2 separate times to go in with people that I consider part of my support system. And then the 3rd time was a charm. I went through, and I go through all the time now by myself like a big girl. But that's what you need. Exposure therapy. Can I get some insight on this exposure therapy here? Can I get some insight on this exposure therapy, please? 7 of Cups, the Tower reversed, the Magician, Page of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. Clarify. It's like you need to what is that? Do something, look like something, feel like something that doesn't make you feel good. And then you have to go do it anyways. Yeah, this is okay. So this is just expanding exposure therapy. Which lets me know that for the audience, this exposure therapy looks like a lot of different things. So I was trying to narrow it down and give a specific example, but the story that I gave just now is going to help expand your mind so that you can heal yourself in this way, because it's not really giving any specifics here other than doing something or putting on something or something that you don't like and facing that fear regardless, and then working through it, which is literally just exposure therapy itself. So that's your major theme here from the message from your shadows of those icks and triggers. It's exposure therapy. So this is the message that I will leave you with. Group number 223, family. Thank you so much for tuning in here. I pray that you receive this message well. If you would like to support the channel for free skis, give this video a thumbs up, leave love in the comment section down below, share this video with a friend, and hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. If you hit the bell, you'll be notified whenever I pull up with new content just like this. You don't want to miss. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, that'll be the very first link in the description box down below. The second link will take you over to Patreon, so you can join us over there, where there will be content that you won't catch here on the main channel. This week we have a sexy upload coming, so you don't want to miss out on that. I'll see you there, Patreon gang. And if you're interested in donating to the channel, there is a PO box as well as a virtual tip jar in the description box down below. I thank you in advance, and I will talk to you next time. Bye. Group number 3, you chose this sensual image here, which lets me know that I think you, most in particular, should join us on Patreon, because there will be an 18+ sexy read over there this week. But you chose 40 with pleasure. And so we're going to dive into the shadow message of your icks and or triggers. But I do want to say this energy here feels like a sacred woman. Sacred, deep, sensual, fanciful, very much in tune with the senses. I have to cater to my audience, and the majority of my audience do show up as females on the stats. So if you're not a woman, that's okay. This energy still applies to you. But it's you in your most sacred form let's dive in. Group number 3's trigger and or ick. Group number 3's trigger and or ick. Group number 3's trigger and or ick. Okay. Group number 3's trigger and or ick. Group number 3's trigger and or ick. And the message from their shadow. You know, I just realized too, I had to tell the other 2 groups, like, calm down, relax, be patient, and meditate while I pull the cards. I didn't have to tell you guys that. I did not have to tell you guys that at all. Okay. This is so interesting because, first of all, so first things first. Sorry, there was an eyelash in my eye. Your ick or trigger, first of all, the first thing that I was picking up on was you being frustrated with yourself because of something that you like. The most particular way that I could like create an example here is someone who wants to change the type in which they date, but for some reason it's hard for you to change your taste. You like what you like. I accidentally nudged that deck and just realized that it exposed 333. I'm also picking up on too something, one of your icks or triggers has to do with, why is my voice doing that? It hasn't done that the whole video. But it has something to do with travel or nostalgic feelings or energies, things of the past. Oh, thank you. God is so good. The way that these messages are coming down. Okay, so your ick or trigger has to do with feeling like you're not doing life right for you. Your ick or trigger seems to be stemming from the fact that you see, and even right now, like, why is all of this happening? Like, the eyelashes all want to fall into my eye at this time. My voice was doing all these crazy, trippy things, okay? But it's got something to do. This isn't going to distract me. I'm going to stay on task. Okay. But basically what I'm saying is like your ick or trigger really seems to be like you feeling like you're not living the life that you want to live. Even if those of you feel like you are well on your way. Again, being brought back to that feeling or sensation of maybe I shouldn't want or like this. And like trying to balance and walk on this path of the straight and narrow. But also feeling like, where are the memories? Okay. So first things first, we literally have something out here that talks about pictures. So pictures, taking pictures, keeping pictures, you need those. This group here, document yourself, your life, your loved ones, your pets, the flowers you buy. Document, just document. It will make you feel more fulfilled. And it will also show you something that you're not seeing about yourself. This group here, it's interesting because you have such like this sacred, soft, sensual, home-like energy. Yet you are so harsh or disconnected from yourself. Harsh on yourself or disconnected from yourself is what I meant to say. That you can't see your own divinity or ecstasy or those perfect qualities about yourself. And I put quotes around perfect because, you know, but okay, let's get some more clarifiers here. The message from your shadow self. The message from your shadow of the icks and or triggers. This group here, you will benefit from affirmations. I don't care how corny it seems, you will benefit from affirmations. Whether you're saying them to yourself or find recordings of people saying them to you. There's also emphasis here on the significance of like your level up, your glow up, your evolution, your growth. Triggers and icks, your past, most specifically your child self. This group here, I was talking about that major glow up thing. For some of you, it's like you could really benefit from stating those affirmations to photos of your younger self, because there's a disconnect. That's what the disconnect is between you. Because I was like, how are you coming through as like this sacred energy, but yet so disconnected from yourself? The disconnection is with the past version of yourself that you really don't associate with, or you really don't understand, or you really don't vibe with. Like that version of you, just like, I don't even know who that was, what that was, I don't know. I need you to show more empathy to that part of yourself. Connect more with that version of yourself. Yeah, because this group here, you're doing a great job of loving on current you and what you're doing in your circumstances, even if there are some things that you are changing or want to change. But there just feels like a lack of fulfillment. That fulfillment comes from connection. Also, those 333s that I was talking about, it's on this aromatherapy card and this make a vision board card. So you could probably benefit from aromatherapy as well as vision boards. Excuse me. I'm literally seeing like you surrounding yourself with comforting smells while finding those pictures, creating like a collage or like a shrine to yourself. You, my friend, you got to get into self-worship. And that, again, you notice my eye is getting all twitchy and tweaky again. It's something in there again. But like vanity, that could be something that you try to like run from, is like vanity. But that's part of divinity. Literally, it's in the word itty, vanity, divinity, it's there. Because what is a god or a creator without its art or creations? And most specifically, what is that art without admiration, without love, without being seen, without being adored, without being worshipped in the sense? And when I say worshiping yourself, I mean just out of self-respect, Brody. Okay? Not in the sense where you feel like everyone else has to bow down and worship you and not, like, no, like that comes with a whole different aspect of ego and things. But that's what I feel like the fear and the disconnect is here, is because you might be so afraid of people taking your love for self as vain to the detriment of yourself. And that consideration for other people alone right there is slowly killing you. This group here, I'm gonna say it, self-worship, you need this. And who I'm talking to knows that that self-worship is a direct reflection of worship to a higher power, to God, to the creator, to the divine. Did they not create you? So why would you neglect yourself? So we need to connect to all versions of self. I could really see this group here creating, again, like that shrine that I talked about, or just like taking some of your favorite photos of yourself from all phases and stages of your life that you can find, and do something fun with it. Like, again, that vision board, like create like a collage of just yourself. It's okay to love yourself, I promise. Let me pull 2 final cards. The Sun in the reverse, and the Death card with the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Loving yourself and the changes that you've made is not vain, nor should your evolution and your progress be taken in vain. That self-worship and self-acknowledgement is worship and praise to God, the creator itself. Respect, love, and worship yourself to respect, love, and worship God. This group here, your message from the shadow of your icks and triggers stems from being cut down by yourself and or others, judgment from yourself and or others. But it really comes in with this, like, this fear of loving yourself to the extent that you would like to. Because I do feel like here, this group, again, I said sacred woman. That means that you've got big divine love, big divine energy, which means that you yourself have to reflect that back to yourself. How can I put that into words? Because I don't like how I worded it. Basically, with all this energy that you have more energy than your average Joe, than your average Jane Doe. Okay? You've got more energy than the average, which means that you need to do more for yourself than the average. Also, when you're doing that reflection, there's parts of you that you like don't want to even look at, and there's parts of you that you compare yourself to. Like, you know, when you compare yourself to old versions of yourself, those versions of you still exist. They just need to be nurtured. So pay more attention to yourself, and this will bring you all that you need, my loves. And this is all that I have for you. Thank you for being here. And this has been the message from your shadow of your icks and or triggers. Group number 3, you chose pleasure. Thank you for being here. If you would like to support the channel for free skis, give this video a thumbs up, leave love in the comment section down below, and share this video with a friend. Thank you for being here, and hit the subscribe button. It's completely free, and also hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever I pull up with new content just like this. And if you're interested in joining us for Patreon, where we have a sexy reading coming up, that'll be the second link in the description box down below. And right above that, we have the option to book a personal reading. And if you're interested in donating to the channel, there is a P.O. box as well as a virtual tip jar. And I thank you in advance. That'll be linked in the description box down below. Ta-ta for now.